Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to the newest episode of Uncovering the Underground radio podcast show, brought to you by my companies Brutal Business Entertainment and Celestial Oddities Radio. As always, I am your host, Frater Crow, a.k.a. ICKUM, and I want to thank you for listening in tonight. Whether you are listening live, streaming after the fact, or you've downloaded this to your device for on the go, any which of the three is fine, and we want to thank you for your patronage. Just make sure that you click the like, share, and follow button on whatever platform you're listening to us from iTunes to iHeartRadio, Spotify, Deezer, Spreaker, CastBox, Google Play, Amazon Podcasts. You name it, folks, we are on it, so listen where you feel comfortable. But by clicking those buttons, what that does is it moves us up the podcast community rankings, allows more people to discover the show. The more that we can do with the show, keeps you in the loop with all new episodes as they air, and gives you unfiltered access to our past archives, not only in this season 2, but last season as well. We are in episode 2, season 2. If you missed last week's opening episode, I definitely suggest you go back and check that out. We had a wonderful guest, Jeremy Lee Pauley, who is the executive director and curator of the Memento Mori Museum. He is also the leading world specialist in anthropodermic bibliopagy, which is the specialist or specialty field of binding books in human skin. He is a human wet specimen restoration specialist. That's a hell of a thing to try to say. And works a lot with different forms of oddities. Very intelligent guy, very talented guy, and we had a great discussion. So make sure you jump back after this episode and check that out. As well as last season, we had 65 episodes. One of those was including our guest that we have on this evening, which we'll be bringing back on in a few moments. I'm speaking about the Horrorcore Queen herself, Miss Razakel. So stick around and be ready for that in just a moment. We do want to thank all of our listeners out there and supporters. We're very excited to be back with a season 2, as I explained last week, and I won't do this every week, but for the first couple I will. We did take a hiatus from this show to bring about other shows of ceremonial magic and occultism that I was able to bring to life. And with life changes, I was able to bring this back as well. So now I do run 3 radio shows: Celestial Oddities Paranormal Guys podcast, centered around the paranormal and supernatural; Knights of the Nephilim, centered around ritualistic magic and occultism; and the original show, which is this one, Uncovering the Underground. So if you're new to us, folks, what this show pertains is bringing on different underground personalities and discussing with them who they are, what it is they do, sharing with you their art, and getting to know them and having great discussions. Everyone from rappers to bands to musicians to comedians to athletes to oddities collectors, actors and actresses, you name it, adult film entertainment, it doesn't matter. We bring them on, we get to learn who they are and meet them. It's always a fun time, and you guys get to, really see who they are behind the scenes, which is the whole point of Uncovering the Underground, and that's what we're doing together. So make sure you stick around and check out this episode and all the others. As I said before, you can, check this out from any platform that you feel comfortable listening from, but the only one that you're going to be able to interact with us live on is going to be Spreaker, which is our hosting company. Now, Spreaker is spelled Spreaker, and you can check them out through Spreaker.com or through the Spreaker app in the app market. What that'll allow you to do is search Celestial Oddities or Uncovering the Underground, any one of the radio shows, which ultimately will bring you to tonight's episode. That'll let you listen to the show, and it allows you to have an instant messenger feature that you can go on and actually talk with us during the show, which is pretty cool. We always advise you jumping on and getting, a chance to speak with us. We read off your question to our guests. We, read off your comments, and it helps us with the show as well. So feel free to jump in and do so. And if you are new to the show, stick around. Like I said, we have a lot of fun here, bring you a high quality content and material. We air to you every single Thursday night, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I said, we just have a lot of fun with one another. So without further ado, pull up a chair, make a bag of popcorn, crack open a beer, and join us as we uncover the underground with the Horrorcore Queen herself, Miss Razakel. How you doing tonight, sister?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I'm glad to be able to have you back. In fact, I looked, earlier time eludes me anymore, but I looked earlier how long it's been since we last had you onto the show, and it's crazy. It was almost 27 months ago.
Wow. It does seem like a minute.
And it seems like a while, but at the same time, when you think of it like that, it's like, wow, I don't think it was that long. But the last 2 years has certainly been a blur of all kinds of sorts, and it's just been kind of a weird time for us all individually, us as groups, us as a human race, and everything, in between. So it makes sense that it can go by so quickly. But I mean, that's what we're going to cover tonight for the fans out there is, what you have personally been up to over the last 2 years, how the label has progressed, the new music that you're working on, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I mean, last time we had you on, you just had dropped Morte Tan Dolce, your new album, which was fully in Spanish at that time, and you've released a few projects since then, which recently just dropped another brand new album. So we'll have a lot to catch up on. But how you been?
I've been good, man. Just like everybody else, kind of, a little stir crazy, with the pandemic and everything, and. I definitely got hit a couple times. I got sick a couple times. Luckily I'm doing a lot better now. But I think for the most part it's been more stir crazy than anything. So I'm kind of glad that things are a little, it seems like things are kind of starting to get back to normal.
It has been wild. In fact, my wife was saying to me earlier, and I think you kind of have been in the same boat. You've been not feeling good the last few weeks. We have been sick. In fact, both my wife and I and our children all have come down with COVID in the last couple weeks, and we've been battling that, and it's been kind of, troublesome, and it's been a pain in the ass to try to get through that, and it has made us even more stir crazy because we haven't really been leaving the house to begin with, but now you can't leave the house. Right. So you are literally locked down in the house. And, when you have two little ones and they're running around just screaming and being crazy, and then you can't leave, and it just has added to us. And finally she looked at me earlier today and she's like, if I don't get out of this house soon, I'm going to snap. And she don't normally say anything like that. And I'm like, oh, it's getting to her. But I think we've all been in that boat that, the last 2 years has done something to our minds that we need to get out. We need to taste a little bit of freedom, or God knows what'll happen.
Oh, right. And, and it's crazy because I do consider myself a homebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless I'm on the road, doing business, I really do consider myself a homebody. I don't like leaving home. I like staying home. I like working. I like my environment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very comfortable where I'm at. But just kind of put it in a different perspective. You know what I mean? Like, at least without the pandemic, I was able to go do whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted. When all this happened, that kind of like didn't give me a choice but to stay here. So I couldn't, like, I guess, like, in your mind you're free, but goddamn, how long can you really live like that?
Well, I think that brings up a good point, though. I think that, it's interesting because you can literally be a homebody, as you said, not leave and not have a problem with it. But it's when you know that you can't leave, it's something triggers in your mind that you're like, wait a second, I don't like this. I don't mind if it's my choice to stay home, but when it's not my choice to stay home, I don't like it. And that's kind of funny how that works, but it's very true.
Oh yeah, exactly. And when the pandemic first started, I remember it was like, I think it was a couple of years ago, like March. I remember when it was like really, really hitting hard. I went out of town to go visit Diabolic Monster, his wife, and Ritual of Ether. And I was out there for like, I think it was like a day. And then the next day we wake up and we're all watching the news and everybody's talking about COVID. And I'm like, is this really a thing? Because I was just on a flight the night before, I was like, is this really a thing? And like, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I remember calling my sister here in Texas and I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, sis, like, this is a real thing. She was like, stores are wiping out. It's like, like the kids aren't going to school. Like, everything's really fucked up right now. Like, you need to be careful out there. And like, I didn't want to believe it. And in the midst of that, me and SCUM were already planning another tour. We were in the middle of booking I think we almost had like 12 dates of a full tour, And I was nervous. I was like, what do we do? And Me and some were like, let's just go till the wheels fall off. Like, this is going to pass. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. A few days passed and everything started getting worse and worse and worse. And we were like, fuck, like, we're going to have to cancel this thing because he owns this venue too. And he was forced to start canceling shows. So he was like, dude, if I'm forced to cancel shows, a lot of these other venues are going to start canceling shows. So maybe we just got to postpone it. And I was like, okay. And then sure enough, it was time for me to fly back home and my flight got canceled. And I was stuck in fucking Louisville for like an extra 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
You know, so then that's when it got like really scary because I'm like, dude, if they start shutting down like airlines, you know, like I already had my roommate and my boyfriend here in Texas already talking, like, we're going to have to drive over there and like get your ass, you know? And so it's crazy. Like it didn't seem like a big deal at first, you know, everything was so normal. Then it seemed like in just a span of like 24 to 48 hours, shit was like, okay, you can't fly back home. You can't, there's no food, there's no bread anywhere. There's no milk anywhere. Like, it was really scary. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very grateful that at least that part has passed. And I hope it doesn't happen again because goddamn.
Well, I think, you know, at first, like you said, most people didn't know what to think because this has happened in history before, not this specific thing, but when you think of the Spanish flu, when you go back much further in the past and you think of the bubonic plague and you think of a lot of different things that have happened over the history of the world, you know, this isn't something necessarily new, but it's new to us in the age that we live in and with technology and how we think as a race now, we tend to not really zone in on a focal point until we have to. And then when this kind of hit everybody, I think at first was like, all right, yeah, this is going to be some shitty thing. It's going to be like, you know, swine flu. It's going to hit the news for a couple weeks. It's going to kill some people. It's going to be sad. But, you know, fast forward 4 months from now, this is all going to be in the past. We're going to go on with our lives. And it's just going to be one of those things that you remember, but you also kind of forget about. And then it became very, very obvious, very quick that wasn't the case. And they started shutting things down and they're like, it's spreading across the globe. And, you know, within the first couple months, I mean, this whole thing has been, you know, an absolute ball of shit. But I think within the first couple months is when it really was just foreign territory for everyone. Like, what's going to happen next? People are being told they can't go to work. They have to work from home, or you know what? You just lost your job. Some places you can't leave your house at all. And there was just so much unknowing. And I think that's what really made it hard.
Definitely. And, you know, I think because of technology and, like, you know, let's face it, America is very spoiled, you know, because of all of that. I think that's why we all expected everything to pass so soon, or that it wouldn't be as big of a deal as it was. You know, so I think COVID definitely humbled a lot of motherfuckers during this whole thing.
Well, it had to. And I mean, even still, whether, you know, there's so many different standpoints that's happened. Unfortunately, anything that happens gives way to a lot of conspiracy theories, and whether someone's a conspiracy theorist or not, that has nothing to do with tonight's show. We're not going to get into that, but it breeds a breeding ground for that. Now, no matter what one's view might be, no one, I think, at this point can say, well, this shit's just a hoax. Because at first, so many people are like, this isn't even real. And now you fast forward to this year, and it's like, I have seen personally myself within the last 2 weeks, dozens and dozens of people making posts, or that I know, you know, in actual life outside of Facebook and outside of social media, that are sick right now and have gotten some type of cold and are not doing well. My family personally being one of them. And I can tell you, I knew as soon as I started getting sick, this wasn't a normal flu or cold. I was having some out of body experience. I started feeling like I was in a bubble. My dreams have been epic. I mean, I'll tell you what, if there anything can be taken from this, folks, COVID's going to give you some fucking in-depth wild dreams. So that's the only thing I embrace out of this whole thing, because I wake up every morning like I just got off a fucking dream roller coaster. But it's, you know, it's hit hard, you know, this whole time, but especially the last couple months, and the numbers have climbed so tremendously that most people that I knew that at one point really didn't believe in this or thought it was bullshit are all like, you know what, there still might be underlying things with the government or this or that. But they're no longer really saying this isn't real. They're like, this fucking sucks. Something's going down. So they might not have changed their narrative, but they changed it slightly.
Right. And, you know, it's crazy, too. Like, I don't know like before it was like, oh, well, not that many people are getting COVID. Now it's like, damn, like, I don't know. I probably know more people that have had COVID that haven't. Like, if you haven't had COVID, who are you?
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on,
Like,
kids.
shots, boosters or not, like, everybody is fucking getting it. And then, you know, different strains. And then down here in Texas, we have like cedar fever, which is terrible, and the flu. And it's basically the same symptoms as COVID. So everyone, you know, you can't even find home tests here. Like, it's just, it's been crazy. You know, this last, we had a show booked for New Year's Eve, in Arkansas. And, you know, that's when my boyfriend got hit with it, and he wasn't cleared until the 30th. And then, my hype girl, my slice girl, Kitty, she got hit with it. She wasn't cleared till the 1st. And we're like, well, fuck, like, it's too much of a risk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's too much of a risk to drive 12 hours from here and possibly expose everyone in the van, expose everyone at the show, you know, come back, bring God knows what, you know, and we had to make that joint decision to, like, yo, we can't do this, like, as a team, like, we just can't do it. Even though all of us weren't sick, it just wasn't, you know, it was a real thing. Like, we didn't want to jeopardize anything. And dude, like, it takes a lot for me to cancel anything when it comes to business, but that's how serious this thing has become, to where, like, we had to be responsible enough to be like, yo, like, we got to cut this one and, you know, make it up in the future, whatever. So it really sucked, but, you know, we got to be responsible. Like, even, you know, this last tour that we had that, you know, that I've seen you on, even that was hard. And, you know, usually when we do tours, we try to book at least 12 to, you know, the most I think we've gone is like 26 dates. And, you know, we try to take a full month, but even this last tour booking was really hard because, you know, some venues weren't ready to open, or they had, like, you know, they couldn't have too many people or a certain amount of people, or, you know, their employees were sick, and, you know, just a lot of, like, restraints and stuff. And that's why I think we only limited to, like, I think it was like seven or 8 dates. And, you know, that really sucks. But once again, like, it was just a responsible thing to do because it was something we had to kind of, like, just test out the waters before jumping full in, you know?
Well, it is. And I mean, the sad truth about this is it hits everybody completely different, where you have people that can get it
Right.
and you know, just be sick. You get through it. It was just a rough cold. You have someone of equal good-natured health side by side with you. They get it and they're gone. And I can attest to that firsthand, that I've lost several friends already, and family members as well. I recently lost a family member very close to me who was in fine health, and she got it. And, you know, within 3 weeks she was gone. And it was wild to see that. You know, she was, you know, it was my stepmother, God rest her soul, and she was over at my house with my kids having a great time. And, you know, about 6-7 days later, she had, you know, gotten COVID, and we knew she wasn't feeling good. Then she tested positive. Within a couple of days of that time, she was in the hospital. Within another couple of days, she was on a respirator. Within another couple of days, she was dead. And it was wild to say, you know, someone in fine health just got it, and it just crippled her and took her out. And other people get it, you know, that are not even in good health. You can have someone of bad health get it and then make it through. It seems to pick and choose as it wants to, and that's what makes this thing very unique and wild. So being responsible about the shows and not going out, as you said, is a good choice, because you don't want to know that you're responsible going out and putting on a great show, but then 10 people in the crowd get it and 2 of them pass away because of it. And then you kind of sit back and say, well, shit, you know, like, and you never really know, was it you, wasn't it you? But it's still something that puts it on your mind, and you don't need that extra stress in a time period where we're already all stressed to the max. So we do have some comments coming in here from some fans. You know, it said, let's see, we got some places are already starting to shut down again, which I believe it. I mean, if the numbers continue with where they are right now, I would see a lot of places probably starting to shut down again. You know, we need to get a handle on this somehow. You know, as much as all of you, want to get back to a normal fucking life. I want to go to big concerts, and I want to go do things and have, you know, fun in the summertime and go out and have a huge show. I mean, I miss festivals like Rock on the Range or Sonic Temple, where, you know, there's 100,000 people screaming and watching music together. That's a beautiful time. And it's like, right now, I can't see that even ever happening again. And that's a heartbreaking thing. So what else we got coming in here? We have some people saying, my brother Frater, good to hear your voice again. Team She in the house. Absolutely, my man. Thank you for tuning in. The shows always sound great. Thank you, Eldoria. Some other people just tuning in saying, what's up, saying hi. Much love to all of you guys. Once again, just a recap, if you are listening out there and you're new to the shows and you want to, join us on the show, not only can you listen, but go to Spreaker.com or the Spreaker app, and you can talk to us like these fine folks are through the instant messenger feature. So, 27 months puts us last talking to one another outside any shows or, involvement there, right before the pandemic happened. We talked in November, and then it would only be, roughly 4 or 5 short months before the world would kind of go to, shit there. So how after we last really spoke to each other here on Uncovering the Underground, when all that happened, how did you adapt to it? I mean, because as an artist, me and you had to go 2 completely different paths. You are still obviously very heavy in the game and had to be one of the cats that evolved completely with how do you entertain your fans? How do you continue to put out material? How do you continue to be an active member of the underground music scene during a pandemic age, whereas I took the opposite, and that was the perfect time for me to hit the ejector cord and say, I'm fucking out. And it was kind of in the works for a long time. There was other things that needed my attention and work. But it left me at a perfect time to kind of bow out gracefully. And it worked good. But I mean, I look back at all my friends still in the music scene, and I'm like, and it interests me. How have you been handling this? How have you been adapting? What have you done differently the last 2 years that maybe you didn't do prior as a musician?
Yeah, well, luckily, the business that I'm in, a lot of it is, I do work from home. You know what I'm saying? So a lot really didn't change on that end. I kind of have like my own schedule. I do music and hair or whatever little side hustles I have or whatever. It's mostly music. So a lot of it didn't change, because like I said, it's all homework pretty much. But I think it was just like after like a few months where, like I said, like I started getting a little stir crazy, a little confined. And I think it forced me to be better. You know what I'm saying? Because it forced me to, since I didn't really have a choice to do much else, it kind of forced me to get my bars better, to write better, to kind of like have more time to get myself together and even learn myself differently. You know what I'm saying? And I think everything got tighter in a way. And I think the only thing that really sucked about everything, like I said, was just not being able to leave, because like my main income of money, of course, is music, but touring and shows, that's where I do the best. You know what I mean? And that's very important for me because, we can do all this online shit, all these music videos, all these songs, all these albums. But the important thing of all of this is to actually like be face to face with people, to touch people, to shake a hand, to, you know what I mean? To see a face to face, to hug someone, to, you know what I mean? To communicate, to touch, So I think that was the hardest for me, was to be able to be cranking out so much material easily and be creative behind the scenes, but then not be able to execute that physically to people. You know what I'm saying? Because
that would be tough.
Like I said, oh yeah. And it was very tough because you got to think, like, I've been doing this for years. So when I work on an album or when I work on a music video or we work on, new releases, there's always like an online platform to execute our ideas. And then right after that, it's always, we got to hit the road. We got to do a show. We got to, you know what I'm saying? Like we got to do something to physically see people. Cause it's one thing to hear a song. It's another thing to see the song be performed, to see the performer, sweat and bleed and really put in everything, and that's what was hard for me, was like, I know I got it behind the scenes. I know I got it working back here, but like, you always want to try to emulate that in person to people, and I'm a very like, I'm a very physical person. Like when I see people I love and I see fans, like I'm the first one to hug you. I'm the first one to talk to you. I'm like not so much affectionate. I'm just very like in the moment. So that was very, very hard for me to just do all this dope work behind the scenes and not be able to just go out there and like reach people physically, you know. So
I would have a hard time with that myself.
That was like the biggest change.
Well, I always, I completely understand that, because my thing is I loved recording. I loved doing music videos. I loved, the aspects that I was able to do from home, from, social media and from other things. But my niche was always my live performances. I just loved going out on a stage and losing myself. I didn't even need lights, didn't need anything, just a microphone and myself, and just go in. And for anybody who followed ICKUM for years, they would say, I love watching him live just because the dude fucking goes in on some lyricism. And, that to me would have been the hard part. And even is the hard part. I mean, slightly, I'm in a weird place mentally now where, it's still slightly hard to not want to go out there and perform, but I've made peace with it. But if I was still actively in the scene trying to do the hustle that I did for all those years, I would have a hard time.
Right.
So, I mean, kudos to you and everyone else that's being able to maintain their sanity as best they can during this, because if you would have, rewinded back 4 years ago, I would have lost it. There's no way. I mean, my hustle was strong, my grind was strong, my hunger was strong. But by the time, it was just weird how the whole world kind of fell apart right whenever I was ready to call it quits. I mean, there couldn't have been, shout out to Patrick who took over Brutal Business Entertainment for me there for the last year and a half, because the funny way that it worked out was, I was ready to step down, and I knew that he was the one who should take the reins of the business. And I reached out to him and said, hey, man, if I were to give you this, would you want to take it over? And he's like, are you kidding me? I was like, no, bro, I'm done. And I can either put this thing to bed, or I can leave it be run by one person and one person only. It's you. I don't want anybody else doing it. I know other people are like, you should have had this person do it or that person. No, there was no one else in my mind that I would have even considered having run the business. And I'm happy with the decision that I made. He did very good for, the last year, almost 2 years. And he recently made the announcement that Brutal Business is ending as a label. But folks, I'm here to tell you, I'm lazy on making my video. He told you that I would be putting out a video, and I haven't done it. But it's not ending as a complete company. It's ending as a music label. All three of my radio shows, my oddities company that I run, my occultism, my paranormal investigations, research, and videos, all will be released under the umbrella of Brutal Business Entertainment. So we're still very much here, folks, for those that are out there. We're just getting away from the music and a lot of other things that we did for well over a decade. But, he looked back after all this, and he's like, ICKUM, I don't know if you did this just by a strange, weird timing, or you had some type of premonition the world was coming to an end. Because literally, I handed him over Brutal Business, and it was like within 2 days, they're like, COVID is here, the world's under siege.
Yeah.
And he's like, you gotta be shitting me. And I'm like, hey, good luck, bro. I just, and the way it came about was very interesting, because as you know, I'm a ceremonial practitioner, and I'm heavy in occultism, and I work a lot with different spiritual currents. And one of the main deities that I work with had, through heavy meditation and path working, gave me pretty much a sign that I needed to end it, and end it now. And it was a big shock to everybody. I mean, I went from being full bore, top of my game, to hello, everybody, I just wanted to make the announcement that I'm done and stepping away. And everyone's like, wait, what?
I remember.
But I had to pull the ejector cord quick. I mean, the forces that I worked with said, end it, and end it now. And I don't question. And, even though you should question
you
things,
handled it. You handled it gracefully. You handled it gracefully, for sure. You were in and out. You made your point. And like, you definitely left a legacy behind, and you're still fucking grinding. I love it.
Yeah, I'm always into something. So folks out there listening and wondering how all this happened, and, where the show went for a little while, and then me leaving Brutal Business, I'll speak more of it on a video soon and really give you guys the nitty-gritty details. But I wanted to at least pop into that tonight. Last episode wouldn't have really made sense because my guest isn't involved in music, so people listening in that are fans of his would have no fucking clue what we were talking about. But fans tonight certainly will. So we had to backpedal there for a moment. But continuing forward, why don't you tell us, since obviously you have been staying busy during, COVID, you have continued to grind, what you got in the works right now, because I know that there's been a few really good releases recently. In fact, before we even jump into that, I want to take a moment here. We have 4 songs tonight. Let's jump into one of them. I was personally going to play Zip Zip, but if you have one you would like to play first, we can always do that.
We can go with Zip Zip. That's fine with me. It's actually from the mixtape, the last mixtape that we dropped as a team. And, we each have a solo, so that was one of my solos right there.
Perfect. Well, let's go ahead and do that, folks. We'll drop into a brand new track here for your ear holes. As soon as we're back, we'll talk about what Razakel has been doing, releasing, and much, much more here on Uncovering the Underground. We'll be back right after this.
Team shit.
Like what?
Okay. There we go.
Everything sounds good?
I believe so. It sounds like people said it. I'm going to ask them right now, how does the song sound?
It sounded good when I was in the car.
Yeah, my roommate just got home and he said he was listening to it in his car and he said everything sounded good there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it sounds good on the phone, too.
Yes, body bag, just like that, just like that. Fucking with that bitch, organize Illuminati. Fuck a Beyonce, fuck a Jay-Z. Burning the beehive, bleeding IVs. All of my chalices are Grammys. I've been sitting in the devil's seat. Stay the fuck off me, no.
There you go.
To say so, I'm riding my own lane while you conform. I stay around. Real wicked bitch shit. Team she. Yeah. I'm a wicked ass bitch with a wicked ass mouth. And I bring the fucking fire. Yeah, I'm burning down the house. I tell it like it is. I don't give a run around. If I see something I want, best believe I'm gonna pound. Yeah, attitude bad, flow so good. Y'all right in my way, just like you should. Team she ricochet like I knew we would. If you doubt what I say, you misunderstood. 10 C's in the scene, bring laughter to me. Boo-hoo, look at me, walking, talking with these. The hypocrisy's embarrassing. Don't like what I say, then cancel me. Toe tags, body bags, just like that, just like that. Fucking with that bitch rap. Toe tags, body bags, just like that, just like that. Fucking with that bitch rap. Organize Illuminati. Fuck a Beyonce, fuck a Jay-Z. Burning the beehive, bleeding IVs. All of my chalices are Grammys. I've been sitting in the devil's seat. Stay the fuck off me, no twerking. Those to me all about loyalty. You ain't shit, so bite your tongue, please. You can say I'm being judgmental. Who the fuck are you to say so? I'm riding my own lane while you conform. I stay a rebel. Yeah, I promise you all, Jody, you get left dead in the shower. Don't question my powers, get crushed into powder, then you'll get devoured like some sweet and sour. Toe tags, body bags, just like that, just like that. Fucking with that bitch rap. Toe tags, body bags, just like that, just like that. Fucking with that bitch rap. Fucking with that bitch Raz. Hey, don't be fucking with that bitch Raz. Hey, don't be fucking with that bitch Raz. Hey, don't be fucking with that bitch Raz. Don't end up in a body bag. End up in a body bag. What? End up in a body bag. What? End up in a body bag. What? End up in a body bag. In a fucking body bag. Fucking with that bitch Raz. Don't be fucking with that bitch Raz. Fucking with that bitch Raz. Fucking with that bitch Raz. Don't be fucking with that bitch Raz. Don't end up in a body bag.
The first lady of horror music and leader of the Sheville Deadites, Razakel.
All right, guys, we're back on Uncovering the Underground. I apologize for any, technical difficulties we were having there. For some reason, you guys were hearing the song, but you could also hear us saying, how does it sound right now behind, which should have been muted. So I apologize for that. If someone could let me know, I restarted the song after it was in about a minute. I restarted it from the beginning again. If someone can let me know if it sounded okay that time and you could no longer hear us, that would be great for anybody listening in right now that's commenting, because it doesn't even make sense that you would hear us. We had the mics all muted, and I can see the levels as we talk, and there were no levels happening. So very strange, but I apologize for anyone that was catching the double, channels there. But needless to say, that was the song Zip Zip, and we are talking with and hanging out with Miss Razakel this evening, finding out, what she's been up to the last couple years with COVID happening, how that's changed her approach to touring, to writing, to just living. And we've been having a fun time. We still got quite a bit of an episode left, about an hour to go, a little less than an hour. And we got a few more songs to play tonight, a lot more stuff to cover. So, great song. I was jamming that before we started the episode tonight. I really like the flow of that. The zip zip's definitely catchy when you say it throughout the show or throughout the song.
Thank you. That one's a fun one. It's actually, when we do these mixtapes, we take like our favorite or not favorite mainstream beats, and we kind of, revise them into our own way. So mine was actually it was a Megan Thee Stallion song. And the original song I really don't care for, but I was like, I don't know, that beat kind of goes hard. I think I can make it my own thing. And I kind of flipped it around and made it what it is. And it's a fun song. It's a very fun live song. I got like two backup dancers that go inside some body bags, and they just dance around side to side on stage. And we just performed that one for the first time this last show in Gallup, and that one's already like setting up to be a real good live fun song to perform.
I'm sure it is. I mean, I see it having a lot of energy. The beat's strong, so I mean, you definitely was able to take something that was a completely different side of hip hop to your flavor, and I think it's a strong beat. It hits. I could see people really getting into that. It's unfortunate, like I said, because with the last 2 years, we can't get the attendance and the energy at a show that maybe we once did, and that'll eventually return. But I could see that being something that people really bounce around to and get into.
Yeah, super fun.
So someone said it took a while. Valerie actually said it took a while. We heard the end of it. So I'm not sure what the fucking thinks, folks. I don't know if it's, like I said, if it's not muting properly, which would be weird because the soundboard I'm using right now is newer. Got it my last season of Knights of the Nephilim, and it is actually the top soundboard you can buy for podcasting, so it better not be fucking up or I will have to drop kick this thing out the window. So it could be user error too. I mean, I'm not the sharpest fucking tool in the shed. So but no, we appreciate you guys letting me know. The next song when we play, obviously from the get-go, let me know afterwards, or if you hear anything of us talking, because normally we bullshit during the songs, and that'll be kind of a shame if tonight, every time I throw a song on for you, me and Raz are just sitting in silence with one another. But I mean, if that's what we got to do, that's what we do. So
definitely.
But no, that's definitely a powerful track. I like that one. All four of the ones you sent this evening are definitely dope. And I've liked, and I'll be the first to say it, I've watched, as a performer alongside of you for many years, your sound, your image, and just the overall essence of Razakel really take hold. Not to say that you ever weren't you, but just to say that you are more you now than you've ever been before. And I've watched that from the first Children of the Grave tour that we did, where I, opened up for you guys here in Pittsburgh, the whole way to now, many, many, many years and shows later, and seeing your sound and just how you looked happy-wise while performing the music that you're performing. And I just wanted to throw that out there that, I'm proud and happy to see what you've done, where you've taken it, and how engulfed in your music you are now. So when I listen to you put out a video or what you do in your songs or anything that you're a part of, I just feel like now there's more love in it than there's ever been.
Oh, definitely. And thank you for seeing that. That seems to be like, that seems to be what a lot of people have been saying within like the past maybe like 5 years or so, you know. It definitely has gotten more, it's gotten more, I guess, like more fun. You know, I think in the beginning I was just like so gung-ho and so like maybe a little too serious with it and not having as much fun with it and kind of scared to like push the boundaries, I guess. And I don't know, like, you know, things changed and everything just seems more, I don't know, like more genuine, you know what I mean? Like I love what I'm doing. I'm having more fun with it. I mean, it's a business, of course, but I think it's very important to love what you do because, you know, people see that shit. You know what I mean? Like you can tell when someone's just doing it to do it. You can see a front, you know, and I don't want to be that because I genuinely, like, I love what I do. You know what I mean? Like, of course I'm very overcritical with some shit, but if you don't put that passion into what you love and what you do, people see that shit. So if I don't feel it, how am I supposed to expect other people to feel that? You know? So, I mean, I make sure to have a blast up there, like, especially when I'm up there with my girls or my teammates and shit. Like, I always tell them, like, have fun. Like, don't think about it too much. You know what I mean? Like, just have fun because if you think about it too much, you know, like if you be an over perfectionist, sometimes that makes you fuck up a little bit more. And perception's everything. We need to show these people that, yo, like, we love what we do. We have a good time. And this is like this is why we get the props and people call us the best that there is because, you know, we do a good job and we love it. So I appreciate you saying that because, man, I love it. You know what I mean? Like I love what I do. Like I really can't picture myself doing anything else. So I'm, you know, that's why I don't stop. I don't know when I'm going to stop. I'm going to be an old fucking wrinkly gray lady. Well, more than I am now, you know, but I love it. And, I think every performer, you know, the arts like this should feel that way. Like you got to feel this shit so other people can feel it too.
Well, you do. And that was my thing is there's a lot of artists that can no longer have the fire and passion behind their music that they once did, but can still continue to churn out good quality music, though it might not have the full heart that it once did, still passes by
right.
a lot of fans out there, and they can continue to do it. Then you have other people that are just genuine and they know, hey, I'm always going to put my heart into it no matter what, even if it takes longer to release it. And then some people, you know, like myself, call it quits. And that was one of my things is my passion was there for every song and every album I ever released. But to me, my music was always truly for myself and no one else. And the reason it was for me is it was to be my savior. It was to take me out of the darkness and the horrible mind states that I was in for a long time, which leads me to a whole different conversation about, you know, occultism and things that I was in for a while. And you know, it was my savior and saved me. But then I was saved. And the problem was when I was saved and I no longer had the darkness in me, I no longer needed the way to release the darkness. And then I was in kind of a paradox where I'm like, I'm at the height of my career right now and people love my shit. I can do really well. I can continue to write, but to what level of self-sabotage is that to me? I have too much pride in what I put out, and it was my savior, but how can I put out this dark music now if I don't fully back the music I'm putting out? And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a good thing to be saved, but I started looking at the darkness is gone, so really, so is my music. And that's whenever I had to make a decision, and I did what I often do, and I went heavily into ritual for the answer. And like I said, something came to me and said, end it and end it now. Not a slowly bowing out, no, it was end it today and end it now. And, you know, like I said, it was something that I had to make a decision on. But, you know, I feel that, you know, an artist should always have their heart into their music. And I love the fact that, as I said, I can see your heart is in it right now. And I love that. I love knowing, you know, how far back we go and to this current day, you're still doing what you love. And that's great because so many I've seen still doing it don't have that passion. They're just doing it because they don't know how to walk away, or they just are trying to milk that cow. And, you know,
right. Or it's very routine. It's become routine to a lot of people too, you know, to where it is hard. It's hard to bow out, you know?
Yeah, because they're afraid what's everybody going to say about me. And I was like, fuck this, fuck everybody, I'm out. And, like I said, and I just vanished. The name change went to my cult mystery tradition name. And it, I just vanished off the face of the earth, deleted like 5,000 people, deleted my sites and shit. People think I'm dead, I think.
Yeah.
And that's sweet. I love it. I hope most people just think that I vanished and they'll remember, Skip ICKUM was his own guy. So, but no, I love seeing what you're doing. You've obviously taken Team She, from the last time we spoke on the show, was a pretty new, not completely new, but pretty new venture for you at this time as a label. And now we're fast forwarding. You guys have built so much. Why don't you speak a little bit about the team right now and what you guys got going on and how things have transpired, how it is being a label head over the last couple years, the trials and tribulations of that in this time?
Oh man. Well, definitely. I think I definitely think I have one of the best rosters in the underground right now. We all of us have always kind of been like the I hate sounds so cliche, but like outcasts. You know what I mean? Like a lot of us have been on different labels. A lot of us have come from different crews or cliques, and it never really worked out, for all of us. And I remember when I first started this thing, I was like, I want people like me, people to where like, there's talent there, the drive is there. And I work better with like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I could be that person to just be like, oh, Raz everything, Raz at front, Raz. Actually, when I had left the last label, I had like fellow colleagues tell me like, don't even think about starting a label or a team. Like you should be putting yourself forward. And that's just not me. You know what I mean? Like it's not me. Like I'd rather have a crew of people to push with. You know what I'm saying? I'm not stingy like that. So my main focus was, it wasn't even to like build a huge team. It was just like, like if I run into somebody that's got it and it works, then we're going to make it work. And that's how I met. Well, I've always known Don Arias, but me and him started working heavily together, and he started mixing and producing for me and, really helped me out. And then that's kind of around when I started doing the Slice Girl stuff. And then, we started, we just kept adding and adding and adding. And, like everyone on the team, we're all fucking monsters. And what I really like about all of us is that we're all different. Like we got something for everybody here. Like it's a fucking buffet over here. You know what I mean? Like you want some bars, you got Diabolic. You want some fucking like EDM drum and bass, we got Ritual of Ether. You want like some almost R&B, we got HB the Grizzly. Like it's like we have something for everybody. So I really take pride in that. And I think that's what makes me push the team even more, is knowing that we're all so like versatile like that, to where like I don't have to play favorites with anybody because we're all like in our own lane, but we're all wrecking the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's like a beautiful plant. Like we're all in the same roots, but like we're this crazy fucking plant growing together. So right now, everybody's working on something right now. Like we've dropped, I think the first year we were together, we dropped 12 consecutive releases. So it was an album a month, I believe. And then last year it was more like singles, some CDs, some full albums. And this year, like we're kind of all over the place. Like I have so many different ideas. Definitely going to be a lot of albums coming out, probably a lot more singles. I definitely want to hit the visuals more. Also shows, depending on how this pandemic keeps on kicking. And like I'm super proud of everybody. And we have so many ideas, and I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too much, but the team is growing, and like even behind the scenes, the team's growing. Like we got the artists and we got the music and shit, but we've also been expanding. Like now I have almost like a publicist, and he's really great with wording. His name's Max Carrier Creeper. And, he does like little, write-ups for us, and it makes us look, just little things like that make us look and sound a little bit more legit, and then, we've expanded like our merch team. We got Valerie doing our merch. We have Bundy doing our merch with us now. like our stage presence is getting bigger, like just little things that make the machine grow bigger and faster. You know what I'm saying? Is changing everything. So, it's really hard I know it's hard for a lot of labels to launch and to keep shit together. But I think in the over a couple years that we've been together, I think we've been doing a really, really good job, and everyone's consistent, and, we all love each other. And unfortunately, we're all like spread out all over the map. I wish we could all see each other a little bit more. But when we do see each other, when it's at these shows or like Sheep Fest and stuff like that, it's almost like we all never left each other's side. Like we all pick up right where we left from, and it's a good team effort. Like I hate to call it a label because ain't no contracts over here, ain't nothing like that. Like I'm not about to get all into that. Like none of us, we're realistic here. We ain't walking no fucking MTV red carpets or you know what I'm saying? Like it's not big, it's not fancy. We don't need to go like that super legit. Maybe one day we will. But right now I just like to call it like a solidified team. We all have the same mind state and we all support each other and we have the same goals. And there's no, I mean, I guess there could be like a friendly competition, but it's not like a competition where like, I'm better than you, you're better than me. It's kind of just like, dude, you're dope and I'm dope. And I'm glad we're not the same because we don't have to be like that, so neck and neck. So yeah, man, like a lot of good things coming up in 2022. And, we're excited to take everybody on the ride with us.
No, that's awesome. And you know what I mean? Speaking personally for myself, for such a long time, my focus was to try to make myself something big. And then as I started getting bigger and started getting, still distance away, but still getting closer to what I was aiming for, I realized that what I was aiming for is never what I wanted all along. And it's weird, that
right.
it's really just about the fun and about the camaraderie and about the family. And it's about being close and going out and making memories and doing what you enjoy to do for the fact that you enjoy to do it and nothing else. Because when
right.
you start adding in these extra pressures, I have deadlines. Well, if you run your own label or if you're on a label where the crew is understanding, there is no deadlines per se. I mean, you might have to get something out by a certain time, but usually people are pretty relaxed on it. Just do what you can. But I know often I set my own deadlines. So like, I have to have this done in 2 weeks. Impossible. But I would do it, and I always put so much pressure on myself. And then I look back, now, and I'm like, why? Why did I do that? There was no boss. I mean, I did it to myself, and I started realizing that I took away the very thing that I started it all for, which was fun. And, I'm like, why did I do that? Why did you take away the fun to try to aim for something higher when the fun is the only reason and desire that you ever got into it, to begin with? So I love and give you kudos to the fact that you guys are doing that. We have a lot of love supporting that right now. We have comments saying, one of my favorite songs, which would have been concerning the last song, love you, Raz, and all of Team She. Love Sammy and the 44 Cal Entertainment crew. Team She isn't just a label, it's a family. We have I love Raz. Took the words right out of my mouth, Valerie. We have another one here. It says, shrunken head till we're dead. Love you, team. We got She for Eternity. We got Respect All Around. And we got a comment here saying, good evening, Frater. And I love your passion, Queen Razakel. Very inspiring. Well, much love to you guys for tuning in and leaving your comments. We really appreciate it. And if you like the last song, we're going to jump into another one here. Now, I have no fucking clue how this is going to go, guys, because now I'm worried.
Yeah, I'm just going to shut the fuck up. I'm going to shut the fuck up over here.
Yeah, you might hear me say at the end, we have 5 seconds till we're back. But we're going to go ahead and fucking try it. So I'm going to jump into the second song here. And if it's okay with you, Raz, I'm just going to drop in with Pop.
Nope.
All right, we'll be right back after this, guys, on Uncovering the Underground.
Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up like you're about to get shot. Electrifying, lightning strikes, feel the shock. Stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up like you're about to get pop, pop, pop. Hands up like you're about to get shot. Charlie fractures, you better run faster. Welcome to my rapture. Causing disaster, this is your last chapter. You're suffering death, it brings me much laughter. I got the answer. If you're questioning living, I'll stab with my dagger. Guts on the platter, splattered with matter. Make you a ghost, I'm calling you Casper.
Ooh, we back at it again. Removing limbs, tying you up, your head up, severing. The pain will never end, you could never comprehend. The torment that I bring, you can't stop, you can't prevent, no!
When I come on the scene, you better freeze, motherfucker. Hands up in the air, cause it's your end, fucking sucker. Is that a cross on your neck? I'll choke you with that crucifix. Drink me up, I'll rot you inside out. The name is arsenic. We creepy crawling, you can hide, but we still see you. We pack sharp objects in our purses, we will bleed you. We counting down the seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slay. Hands up like you're about to get shot. Electrifying, lightning strikes, feel the shock. Stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up like you're about to get pop. Hands up like you're about to get shot. Electrifying, lightning strikes, feel the shock. Stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up like you're about to get pop. You wanna see the devil? Look right at me, burning crosses at the altar, sacrificing babies. I rule the underworld, call me Hades, foaming at the mouth like I got rabies. Hate me, betray me, you'll never escape me. Castrating, I'm crazy, your neck I'll be breaking. That's what you're facing, your body will drop. Pull out the gaddy, make it go pop, 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 pop.
Maybe you will live, I fucking doubt it though. Don't dig too deep, you might fall down the rabbit hole. I'm a savage animal, rip out your clavicle. Your life ain't valuable, don't fight me, it's impossible.
Ain't no blue and red lights, but you are now detained. Next latched over my sink, so now your life is officially drained. I keep my knife sharp and my mind deranged. Move your organs around, now your innards are rearranged. We creepy crawling, you can hide, but we still see you. We pack sharp objects in our purses, we will bleed you. We counting down the seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, slay. Hands up like you're about to get shot. Electrifying, lightning strikes, feel the shock. Stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up like you're about to get pop. Hands up like you're about to get shot. Electrifying, lightning strikes, feel the shock. Stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up, hey, stick 'em up like you're about to get pop.
You wanna see the devil? Look right at me. You wanna see the devil? Look right at me. You wanna see the devil? Look right at me. Right at me. Look right at me. You wanna see the devil? Look right at me. Right at me. Look right at me.
All right, folks, we're back on Uncovering the Underground, and that was Pop from Razakel and the Slice Girls. And I don't know, we sat silent for the most part, so I don't know if you guys heard anything or not. I heard Jimmy in the background making some noise. Jimmy, did you hear anything?
No.
Okay, so I think maybe it worked that time. I don't know, folks.
Yeah, we're great.
You know, the weird thing is my other two shows. So for the longest time, 65 episodes, you know, we always had music involved with this show. And I had my other show going on. I just didn't run music. Well, then when I ended Uncovering the Underground, I had Celestial Oddities, and then I had started and launched Nights of the Nephilim podcast. And there's no shows involved.
Right.
So I hadn't had any music involved in the shows for the longest time until I've been prepping to relaunch this in the last month. And everything was working good. We had some other technical difficulties and me just being dumb last week. But the music worked perfectly, and now this week it's not. So who knows? Last week, I don't know if anybody heard, but I started the episode and I said, "Good evening, ladies and and then you hear me end the episode, and I started a new one because I don't know what the hell I was trying to say. It was a pretty funny moment. But we have people dropping in here, leaving some comments. We have Let's Go, Pop Pop. We have Raging in My Bedroom Right Now, another Pop Pop. Everything she puts out is dope. Everything sounded good here. Everything sounded good here as well. Yes, the song. played excellent. And I would just like to make a side note, since this fucker's listening right now. Diabolic the Monster, you fuck. If you're hearing me right now, you need to get a hold of me, because I want to have you on the show. I'm not planning on having a lot of rappers on the show anymore, to be honest with you. I always fucking hated rappers. There's only a few out there that I like. I had a lot of rappers on the show, and I always joked around with people. Skippy ICKUM's slogan was Skippy ICKUM, I fucking hate rappers. And this year we're focusing a lot more on metal bands and a lot of other things, but I will have a few select people on the show. Razakel is obviously a given. And I reached out to you, you prick, but you never answer your goddamn messages. So if you're hearing me right now, hit me up, because I know you want to come back on, and I'd love to have you. Folks, one of the best underground rappers ever.
Oh, definitely. He's a goat for sure.
Straight up. I mean, I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. Diabolic the Monster is a fucking goat. All right, so definitely some dope ass tracks. Like I said, it's really good to see what you've been putting out lately, and I know that not only have you been putting out, obviously the mixtape, the new album. You have recently recorded a new music video as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was the Tiffany with the Slice Girls. It was one of our songs. That song has actually been done for, years.
It has been done for years. I remember you performing that quite a while back with us, and whenever I seen you finally releasing it, I'm like, oh wow, they're putting some visuals to this.
Oh yeah, definitely. We had one version before, and then we re-recorded it just to revise it, revamp it, make it a little bit better. And it had always been like a crowd favorite, crowd mover. And when we recorded this new album, it was always kind of in our heads, like, yeah, this is definitely one that we need to put some visuals to. So we pretty much just Dextered my living room, put up some plastic tarp everywhere, drew all over everything, had Jaws come over here, draw some stuff. Everything's in house here, fucking camera lights, we do everything here. And we just put our ideas together. Anae, my Spice Girl, she's really good with like makeup, and she works at like haunted houses and stuff like that during October and everything. She's very, very talented, so she was able to pretty us up and add the effects and stuff like that. And we really didn't have like too much of an idea to go with. For the most part, when we do music videos, we kind of write like an outline and like schedule things, and like we're gonna do this at this time and this at this time. And this one, it was like, well, we're just gonna kind of set shit up and just see what happens. And it turned out pretty cool. It turned out pretty cool. So that was our newest one that came out. I believe that came out in December. Yeah, it was December, the beginning of December, I think. And yeah, it's gotten. I think it's doing pretty good, man. Everyone's happy to see that it's back. When we had the first version, and we wanted to redo it, we kind of took it offline. So it was gone for like a good year, So when it came back, everyone got really excited about it. And then when there was an actual visual to it, people were even more excited about it. So it's a fun one, man. Like that's definitely one of our fun ones to perform. And it's a little girl power, but it's not too girl power to like turn off the guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that it's out there finally, and we're probably going to go ahead and keep pushing that for a little bit until we start filming the next video, which is going to be Pop.
Okay. That's awesome. No, I think that'll be a good song to put visuals to, and I love the video that you guys released. I had watched it, and I was enjoying the fact that, as I said, you did put visuals to a song that had been around for a while, which sometimes is a great thing to do because you let it marinate. And then, a lot of times people want to put it out as soon as the song comes out, and that can be very, captivating as well. But having a song out for a while that people like, and then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, here 3 years later, I'm going to slap you in the face with a video or a visual. That's great because, it finally brings it full circle. So that was cool that you guys did that. I certainly enjoyed it. And that was always one of my favorite things involved in entertainment, was making my music videos. I love playing on stage. I love recording, but I love doing videos, acting a little bit, the props, the special effects, the makeup, the just piecing together and being a little bit of a director and things of that nature. It was always a lot of fun to bring that element because you don't get to do it often. You might hit the studio all the time. You might play a shit ton of shows. But unless you got buku fucking money, you're not, recording 200 videos. You're recording a video here and there, maybe a couple times a year. And that's if you're staying pretty busy. So I always loved whenever I got a chance to really put together a video project.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's definitely one of the perks and the fun part of it. Like it's like sometimes it kind of sucks because it's like, fuck, like we put so much time and energy into this, and then it's done, and then you're like, oh well, fuck, now what? Oh well, it's time to start the next one. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely like one of the fun parts of it is, of course, performing and listening and all of that. But when you actually get like to do the fun parts of it, like like you said, like directing, acting, and bossing the camera guy around, like that's always fun. And what I like about it too is just like the camaraderie of it. Like I said, it's never just like me and the girls. Like we got a team back here that we all have to get on like a level to where we all understand each other and get the visual together. And then what makes it more fun too is like the more people get involved, the more the ideas start transforming and different ideas start manifesting. And you know what I'm saying? So I'm really glad that we have like more than just a few people to help out, because the ideas get bigger and stronger. And we always learn. So like this last video, like there was like, damn, well, we did this, but we could have done this. And, we'll take notes. And then when it's time to do the next video, we'll just transfer those notes over. So everything's always a learning process. So everything always gets better and better.
You do definitely learn a lot from the videos, the do's and don'ts, things you like, the things that you're like, I don't know. No one seems to notice that, but I noticed it in the video. Or you can make you can make a mistake like I did, and I'll talk about it live on the air because I don't give a shit. I did Demon in the Darkness, and we put horns on me and long nails and a cape on me and painted me up like a demon, and I had cat eye contacts, and I'm a demon. I'm a dark, scary demon. Well, that didn't go as well as I had thought. Most of the people loved the video. What the problem was with it is you had a lot of people seeing a white boy with his face painted and his hands painted black rapping. And I started getting a lot of comments of people saying, this motherfucker's black-facing, rapping right now in his music video. And it never even crossed my mind, to be honest with you. I had fucking nails, horns, and cat eyes in. I mean, by no means was I black-faced, but in some people's eye, I was, and I got a lot of shit for that. I mean, it wasn't too much, but I mean, there had to have been at least 50 people who were pretty pissed off about it. That left comments, and they're like, fuck this dude, fuck his music. And I'm like,
oh my God.
And I'm like, I didn't really give a shit, but I'm like, you can say whatever you want, bro. I'm like, obviously that's not what I was trying to portray. The fucking song is Demon in the Darkness. I'm a dark demon. I'm like, I don't know. But it was a lesson learned is what I'm getting at, is afterwards, I'm like, yeah, maybe I should have just painted myself red. Something that wouldn't have drawn shit to me. But, that's one of those things that you don't know until after you do it, and it just catches up to you. So, yeah, videos can be a good learning lesson. Funny shit.
Yep, I feel it, man. I know before this last music video, we hadn't gotten our camera serviced for probably a couple years. And, we filmed these music videos, and then, we really don't know what we got until we see it on a big screen, when we're editing and everything. All we have is that little LCD screen. And then I remember there was always these fucking dots on the screen, and it would drive us all crazy here. We're like, dude, we're cleaning the lens, we're cleaning everything. What the fuck is going on? And for the past few music videos, we're those fucking dots on the screen, and no one notices them. No one does. And every time we show people, no one would say anything, but the crew over here, we just look at each other like, motherfucker, we see those things. We see those and make us cringe. And then we took the camera to get service. They're like, yeah, this sensor's really, the sensor's taking a beating. We're going to go ahead and clean this for you. And then it's finally clean and pretty now. We don't have that problem anymore. But I definitely understand where we see something, we know it's there. You know what I mean? We see it, we know it's there. And others don't, but it doesn't fucking matter because I know it's there. I know it's there.
And that's it. Sometimes there was a piece of one of my videos that didn't necessarily make sense. No one would catch it. But as I was watching it, I'm like, well, if you really think about it, I'm like, that doesn't actually make any sense. That scene fitting into that, I'm like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm like, it goes together good. No one's ever questioned that one. Now that I said it, there's going to be old Skippy ICKUM fans going through and busting my balls. But
right, everyone's going to be deciphering everything now, looking at everything closely.
Can't get any more shit than the blackface, though. I mean, that like I said, the first time I got that comment, I just never seen it coming. When I read it, I'm like, what? I'm like, seriously? I'm like, what a fucking asshole this guy is. And then it was like 2 days later, another guy's like, nice blackface asshole. And I'm like, oh, wow, people are legitimately thinking this. And then they just started pouring in droves. It was probably this asshole's whole fucking, family and friends.
Hey, you know what? You probably got some extra views and got people talking about it.
That's all right. I mean, hey, fuck it. I've never been one to break controversy. Not that that's something I would do, but get people talking. I guess it's a good thing. I battle rapped and all that shit, so of course you're going to stir the pot a little bit. Now, I wanted to ask a couple questions tonight. I probably asked you this the last time I had you on the show, but I always just love seeing people's answers, and even over time how that can change. So there's 3 questions I'm going to ask. One of them serious, 2 of them are kind of, silly, but still interesting. And, if you had to put all your time into something else other than, music, other than Team She, other than your videos, other than everything that you've done for the last 15 years in the music game, what would you put it in? If you had to pick something else, I mean, away from the entertainment, what is your other passion in life that you would work on?
Oh man, I mean, it'd probably be like kind of the same route with you, like, ritual and more occult work. You know what I mean? Like I do that, on my own time. I just wish I had more time, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I wish I had more time, more space, but, that's definitely something that I'm trying to balance out. And that's actually something that I've actually gotten more like in tune with since the pandemic also. Was that since I couldn't really leave it, it kind of put me back in touch with the practicing and shit. So, if there were anything, it would definitely be something like that. Or if everyone went to if everything went to completion, I'd probably just end up being a real serial killer, and that would be it.
So we got either an occultist or a serial killer. Hey, either one. No, I agree with you, though. I mean, I think that the pandemic's been very good for people to get back in touch with spirituality or themselves. Both are very important.
Definitely.
And, I even, who practices every single day of my life, I wish that I had more time. There's never enough time. The deeper you dig into that rabbit hole, the deeper it gets, folks. And I will tell you that the ritual and spirits are very, very real, and it's not what a lot of people think they are. I work heavily with demonic currents, and I have worked with a lot of very powerful beings, and a lot of people out there.
I know.
A lot of people are like, they look at it in a weird way. They're like, fuck yeah, you work with Satan, yeah. No, it's not how you think it is, folks. These are very ancient, intelligent, powerful beings that'll help change and shape your life, not for free, but by being a devout and strict worker and discipline and disciple of their currents, and by working them honorably and doing your part and busting your ass and having a regimen and a discipline, your life will start to shape up in weird ways.
It's so vast.
So vast.
Yeah, it's so vast. It's not just one. There's not just one path either. I think that's what I like about it so much is, you can't take one path, but oh my God, all of us are just touching a very small spectrum of anything. You know what I mean? And I think that's what makes it so intriguing even more is you learn one thing, it kind of wants to make you delve into something else. And I do consider myself very in tune with what I do. You know what I mean? I have a passion for it. I love what I do. When I go in, I go in. But like I said, I just wish I had more time and more space to really, really, really go all out. So, and that's something I have to work on too. But I feel like that is something more of that's definitely more like my heart and my home, more of the personal. That's more than me, And if I could do more, I would definitely go that route. But the route that I'm going on now, I'm very grateful for everything that I learned. And what I love about it, like I said, is that you just keep learning. There's no cap. There's absolutely no cap. You can keep going and going and going. So I fucking love that because sometimes sometimes you learn something and then you get to the end of it and you're like, oh, it's like watching a series. Dexter's over. Fuck, now what do I do? You know what I'm saying? But like with something with like the occult and ritual and, you know, practicing and shit like that, I love that it can just keep going and going and going, and it's all in the heart and it's all in the mind, and I fucking love that.
Well, it is, and I mean that's the great. I think, you know, a lot of times people get lost in the external side of magic, and they want to look at what can I gain materially, can I you know, make myself a good love life, and can I make myself financially successful and popular, and all the things that sound great, but those are all material objects of external magic, of low forms of magic. But then, as you said, you know, you start to work heavily with deity, that this connects to that, connects to this, connects to that, and you start to draw this bigger picture, and you realize how the world connects, and it starts to unlock gateways and doorways within you, and you start to transform by simply learning. And the thing about learning, folks, this is definitely something for my other podcast, Nights of the Nephilim, but you never learn anything, you only remember. And a lot of people will hear that and say that doesn't make any sense, and I will tell you that probably doesn't make sense to most people listening, but you will start to learn, let's use that term, we'll start to learn very profound things working with ancient deities. But the thing you'll come to realize when you reach a certain level of transcendence is that you didn't actually learn anything, you only remembered what you already have forgotten. And that's all I'm going to say this evening, but you will only ever remember what you've already forgotten. So write that down, study that, contemplate on it, and maybe it'll make sense to you. Now, it comes to my second question here, and I think the fans must know. This is very important, Raz. If you had to pick to either have tits for hands or testicles for toes, what would you pick?
Testicles for toes, man.
Testicles for toes, folks. I had to.
I mean, I already got boobs. I already got boobs, so you know, I already know what that's like. And like I've always told myself, like if I was a dude, I definitely want to get like kicked in the testicles. So if I had testicles for toes, I'd just be like slamming my toes all over everything.
I don't think you would want to get kicked in the testicles, to be honest with you. It's really not a good time. I mean, it's not all they paint it up to be. Let me tell you.
I know it's not. I know it's not. But like I would have to experience it at least once if I was a dude. I'd have to.
Yeah, you go ahead and take one for the team, Raz. You know, so I'm good on it. I'll take a strong pass. But no, I just wanted to throw something completely ridiculous out there. But I do have a serious question here, and I was thinking about this, and I think this is a fucked up situation, but it's really quite a powerful question. If right now you had the option, this was the end of the world. It's ending. It's done. There is no tomorrow. It's not a pandemic. This is the fucking end. And you had the chance to be surrounded by the people that you care about the most and love. That either choice, you get that. But the choices are, you can hold them close to you, hug them, kiss them, whatever you need. You can be physically, you know, correspondent with the people that you love, but you are not allowed to write or say a single word as everything ends. Or you are separated by a barrier. They can still hear you, but you can never touch them in the end moments of everyone's life. Would you rather hold them close without being able to tell them all how you feel? Or would you tell them how you feel without being able to hold them close and die separated from them? What would you pick?
I think I'm definitely holding close, man. I think, you know, like how we were talking about earlier, like how, you know, I'm a physical person. I'm, you know, like not being able to do shows and stuff like that. I like to be in someone's face. You know, I think expression can go a longer way than words sometimes, you know, which is weird to say because I'm a vocalist / lyricist, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, the face and the feeling can sometimes transcend a little bit more deeper than words. To me, anyway.
And I love that. Anyway, that's why I ask that, because everyone's going to look at that very differently. You are a physical person, so to be physical is important to you, and you don't necessarily need the words. You can hold them close, whereas there's other people out there I know for a fact that would say, I would have to tell them. I would have to tell them what I've never told them. Even if it means I can't hold them, they have to verbally hear it. There's people that have to verbally get it out there. So when I came up with that, I was like, you know what? Either answer is right. There's no wrong answer. It just really speaks volumes on the person themselves.
Yeah, no, that's a very good question, and it's kind of one of those things like it just depends on who it is too, because like for some people, like, talk is cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, for a lot of people, talk is cheap. It's the action of doing things. So I mean, it can go either way for anyone. Some people are articulate. Some people can really reach you with words better than expression. But like, as for me, like, I definitely feel I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite for sure. And if you've met me and the people that know me, then you definitely agree with what I'm saying.
No, I love that. Good answer. And to the people out there, that are close to Raz, hold her close next time you see her. Let her know how you feel without saying a single word. And that's important. I think there's too much talking sometimes and not enough just knowing. And
yeah, it's a lot of word vomit sometimes. Like, I really feel that sometimes people just talk to talk. Like, I feel like sometimes, like, they're just talking to talk to listen to themselves, and it's like, man, do you really listen to yourself sometimes?
And they don't, and a lot of times people paint their world with their words, and that's another thing that's saved for another one of my shows. But words are powerful. Words have intent, and words are actually one of the foundations of magic. And in the beginning, there was the verb, and the verb created all. And most people hear that and will be like, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And once again, that's okay. But words are very powerful, and the more you just spew them out, the more you create for yourself. Because if you say things out loud, sometimes you listen to yourself, sometimes you believe it, and as you believe it, you project it. As you project it, you receive it. And we paint our own destinies, folks. So when you live in misery, it's because you've painted your own misery, so drowned in it. If you want to be victorious, climb the fucking mountain and sing from the rooftops. But we paint our own pictures. And you're right, there's just a lot of people who just spew words endlessly, and you just like, why the fuck is this person still talking? No one's listening, bro. But so that's neither here nor there, I guess. But we have a little bit of time left. I would like to drop into the third song. We'll come back, cap it off with a couple things, and then we'll finish out the night with the fourth song and let it fade to the end. So we have 2 songs left. We have Cherry Red and we have Grand High Witch Bitch. Which one would you rather play?
Let's do Cherry Red.
All right, folks, we'll be right back after this song from Razakel. This is Cherry Red here on Uncovering the Underground.
From my heart, hope you die. From my heart, hope you die. From my heart, hope you die. From my heart, hope you die.
I'm the Joey area, sucker area. The center of your darkness, scaring ya. Causing mass hysteria. Bite you deep like a pit bull terrier. Deadly like malaria. Most evil level 23, breaking all barriers. You bitch took all carrier. Out to the cemetery and then bury ya. Heartbeat racing back and forth, you're facing. I'm just like Jason, you run out chasing. Erasing your existence. I'll catch you, I'll find you, no matter the distance. Resistance, I'll kill, no lie, no lie. Sing along now to my scary lullaby.
Cross my heart, hope you die. I'm about to take your life. Don't laugh when you see a hearse go by. Cause you might be the next one to die. Fear fills your mind, tears fill your eyes. Nowhere to run or hide, you will be mine. No! It's impossible, what you gonna do now? You can't slow me down. No! It's impossible, you can't take me out. You can't slow me down. No! Like a serial killer, I won't stop until I'm covered. I'm dead. I got a blood fetish, I wanna see you bleed cherry red. Nightmare, your worst dream, the girl of your scream.
From my heart, hope you die.
Nothing is what what it seems. Come to me, I'm about to take your life. Don't laugh when you see your hearse go bye-bye, 'cause you might be the next one to die. Fear fills your mind, tears fill your eyes. Nowhere to run or hide, you will be mine. It's impossible, what you gonna do now? You can't slow me down. It's impossible, you can't take me out. You can't slow me down, no. Like a serial killer, I won't stop until I'm gone or I'm dead. I got a blood finish, I wanna see you bleed cherry red. Cross my heart, hope you die. Fear fills your mind. Cross my heart, hope you die. Tears fill your eyes. Cross my heart, hope you die. Where to run or hide. Cross my heart, hope you die. You will be mine. Cross my heart, hope you die. Fear fills your mind. Cross my heart, hope you die. Tears fill your eyes. Cross my heart, hope you die. Run or hide. No, cross my heart, hope you die. You will be mine. You will be mine. You will be mine. No.
All right, guys, we're back on Uncovering the Underground. I am your host, Frater Crow, a.k.a. Skippy ICKUM. Tonight, we're hanging out with Horrorcore Queen Razakel, talking about the last couple years of her career during this pandemic state, past memories and things that we've shared with one another, the future, and everything in between. It's been an absolutely great episode. Looks like the issue that we were having earlier in the evening with the music somehow worked itself out, though we've done nothing different. So as long as that sounded good to all of you guys, and you didn't hear us talking during it, then that's great. I'll take it as a victory. I don't know what the hell happened. So my favorite song ever, Grow Up Bundy. I don't even know what's going on right now. So I don't know. There's a bunch of comments happening. I can't keep with it. So love to you guys, but I'm not reading them all right now. That was Cherry Red 2.0 Row Remix by Ritual of Ether. So, great track, heavy undertone to it with the remix. So it's pretty dope. I was jamming that earlier as well. So hopefully you guys love it. And there's a bunch of people commenting that they do. So that's great. We have a little bit of the show left, a few more minutes. So why don't you tell us, anything that you got coming up that you're willing to share? Any last statements or things that you wanted to get out tonight that you didn't? We'll let you have the floor, and then tell us where we can check you out at afterwards.
Okay. So I guess the one thing I really wanted to bring up was me and the Slice Girls dropped our new album, Sliceylvania, in December. So if no one has checked that out, please check that out. We worked really, really hard on it, over a year for sure. And we're really, really proud of it. Of course, Tiffany music video, we'll be shooting to pop this weekend. Tomorrow I have a show here in San Antonio at Bond's Rock Bar with the girls. And we're really excited about this show tomorrow because we're the only hip hop, rap, horrorcore act on the whole thing. And we're opening the whole thing. So it's me and the girls and 3 other bands. So we're really excited. I'm just excited to open a show, to be honest. I'm so sick of headlining. I'm really excited to open a show and to be exposed to a different kind of crowd. So, we got that coming up tomorrow. And, the girls will be here tomorrow too. And we're already going to be back in the studio working on new shit. I got, Ritual of Ether and Bane dropping a single this month on the 28th. The 28th. And then, everybody's working on something. Diabolic is working on something right now. I just sent HB, the Grizzly, some beats. She's working on shit right now. I'm in talks with Damian Quinn right now. working on the next tour, which we're hoping to hit spring. So hopefully that goes down. And I just got a whole bunch of new beats also from LaChum, from a new producer I'm working with called Will FM, and from John Henry. And I'm going to go ahead and going to start hitting my album hard. I actually just started last night and finished about 2 songs. So even though I'm under the weather a little bit, I'm still trying to keep it moving forward. I'm going to be launching a contest tomorrow for a free Raz pack for I had the last song that we're going to play, Grand High Witch Bitch. I've actually hidden like 22 references / song titles in the whole song. So the contest is you find the names of the songs or the references, you win this prize pack. So I'm going to let that go about for a week. And then we got She Fest coming up in October, which is definitely a while away. But next year is going to be 3 days long. It's going to be a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. And we're already putting together like crazy ideas for that. Of course, it's going to be at Carl's Tavern. So I'll probably start booking for that probably end of February. So I'll be looking out for, different artists in the underground to see if, they want to come out. Skippy, if you're interested. That's pretty much all I could say for right now. I mean, we're working hard. Like, I don't like to say too much, but, like my team is so big. Of course, there's always something happening. So, I just expect consistency to still be there. And, we're all working hard. We all love each other. We all love the fans. We all love, you, Skippy. Like, thanks everybody for tuning in. And, we work really hard, and we're glad that it's paying off. And I hope that everybody sticks around for the ride because, even though like we have been doing this for a minute, like it just feels like we're getting started. I mean, I barely feel like I'm getting started on my own, you know what I mean? So we're just getting started, and we have so many ideas, and the team's expanding, and we're so fucking happy. And, we hope you guys stick around because, we love what we do, and, we do it for you guys. And I mean, of course we do it for ourselves. We're just lucky that other people love it too, so, I'm a big fan of, unity in the underground. If done right, you know what I'm saying? If done right, I'm here for everybody that's here for us. So, 2022, I'm not going to be that one like, oh, it's our year. It's our year. We're going to run this shit. But we do have a lot of things planned. And like I said, I hope you guys stick around because, we're having fun with what we do. We love what we do. And so let's get it.
You heard it, folks. Make sure you pick up the Razakel and the Slice Girls' new album that dropped last month. Make sure you check out the music video for Tiffany. Pick up their recent mixtape. Support all the artists on She Entertainment. Later in the year, go to the Shrunken Heads Festival. It was a great time. I was at the first one a couple years back, and I had a blast. You never know. Maybe there could be a appearance in the future of myself again. That'd be about one of the only ways I would. This old dog ain't popping out too often, but we'll see. And just support a great underground team, underground label doing a lot of great things. Nothing but love for you, Raz, from the first time, as I said, that, we met each other many, many moons ago. You, Gino, Damien, some great people on the first of the tour of Children of the Grave so many moons ago. But as you said, it's going by quick, and it's been a blast, and I'm certainly glad to be a part of it in whatever way, shape, or form that I can be and have been. So certainly would love to have you back down the road. As always, you're always welcome. And as always, it's been a great time having you on and just catching up with one another. And to folks out there listening, make sure you click the like, share, and follow button on all the platforms you're listening to us from. Help get Raz out there. Help get our team out there. Hell, help get the show out there. If you have suggestions on what you want to see us do differently, anybody you want to have us, bring onto the show, certainly send us an email at celestialoddities@gmail.com. Again, that's celestialoddities@gmail.com. You can hit me up on the Frater Crow Facebook page or Uncovering the Underground group page. Feel free to join. We always have a lot of good content coming out. or follow Brutal Business Entertainment, my label. Like I said, that's recently taken a large transformation, but we've been around a long time, and if I have anything to do with it, we'll be around for a long time to come in one way or another. So, tune into great underground entertainment. And other than that, folks, tune in next week. We're going to play one last song here in a moment. Next week, we are bringing on Pennsylvania metal band Endbringer, and we'll be getting a little bit heavy, and I actually got a lot of heavy shit coming up for you. Some of the bands coming up are pretty fucking wild. So, we got my boys in Angelic Desolation coming up here before too long. War. Some of these bands are just absolutely phenomenal, doing amazing things. So stick around for those episodes every Thursday night, 8:30 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to play one last song to fade out the episode, and then we will end it. And other than that, before we jump into it, much love to you, Raz, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah, thanks a lot, brother.
All right, folks, this is Razakel's Grand High Witch Bitch here on Uncovering the Underground. We'll catch you next time. Have a good night.
There's no coming back from death.
As above, so below. Killing you so softly, leaving blood in the snow. As above, so below. Cutting through your neck until I feel the bone. Goodbye, goodbye to all the fake people in my life. Fuck me over, it's time to die. History recites, eye for an eye. Ultimate suffering is what I want for you, that's why I strive. I wanna make you die, bitch, this is femicide. I'll keep taking my time in case God decides to drop by. Vicious, malicious, I spring, you spring all shit on your face, I ain't ladylike. It's self-explanatory, I spit truly gory. Ghost stories, goosebumps, R.L. Stein allegory. I'm a bad girl, so triplet, very scary. Perfectly disgusting, your God, he's imaginary. Yes, they vary, cause even in death I'll haunt you. Make you bleed, cherry red, no muzzle, I'll maul you. I'll end the soulless, they won't live another day. You sharing hate, I'm fading May, I'll stab you all the way. I'll end the soulless, they won't live another day. You sharing hate, I'm fading May, I'll stab you all the fuck away. I'm the Grand High Witch Bitch. Sip this murder potion formula 86. Watch out, bite me. Keep it wicked. Keep it wicked. Spread the sickness. I'm the Grand High Witch Bitch. Sip this murder potion formula 86. Watch out, bite me. Keep it wicked.
keep it wicked. Spread the sickness. As above, so below. Killing you so softly, leaving blood in the snow. As above, so below. Cutting through your neck until I feel the bone. As above, so below. Killing you so softly, leaving blood in the snow. As above, so below. Cutting through your neck until I feel the bone. Until I feel the bone. I'm the Grand High Witch, bitch.